So listen students, in the last video we have discussed the binary operation and few examples for the binary operation. Okay, as the extension of that, now we are going to see certain properties of binary operation. So what are all the properties of binary operation? It's very important because in the problems you are asked to find or verify the properties given below. Okay, so let me see the properties one by one. The first property, closure axiom, which is already I have introduced in binary operation itself. Okay, so let me summarize that one. Let A comma B belongs to S. Here S is the non-empty set. S is the non-empty set, which implies that A star B belongs to S. That is, you are operating A and B so that you are getting a unique answer. That answer must be in the non-empty set S. That is known as closure axiom or closure property. Okay. Next property, associative property. What is that associative property? Any binary operation star defined on a non-empty set S is said to satisfy the associative property if this result holds. What is that result? A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. For every A comma B comma C belongs to S. That is, you are going to take three elements from the set and you are going to operate. When you observe the result, the bracket is different. Okay. When you see the left hand side, the bracket is for the last two terms. But here the bracket is for the first two terms. Whatever will be the bracket you are using, after the final answer, the left hand side answer and the right hand side answer should coincide. If it happens, means we can say that it satisfies the associative property. Okay, next step. Existence of identity property. You know that identity number. Okay, like that the same concept. An element E belongs to S. Usually in this chapter we are going to take the identity element as E in general. E is said to be the identity element of S under the operation star if for all A belongs to S we have that A star E equal to E star A equal to A. Okay, what is the meaning? Means whenever you are operating an element with the identity element in any order, that is, here the identity elements in the second place, here it is in the first place, whatever may be the place it may be, but the final answer is going to be the number you are operating with the identity elements. Okay, for example, if you are adding 0 plus 5, so you are getting the same answer 5. Here 0 is the identity element and 5 is an element. When you are adding an element with the identity element, your answer should be the element what you are taking. நீ ஏதாவது ஒரு எலிமெண்ட் எடுத்து ஐடென்டிட்டி எலிமெண்ட் கூட ஆட் பண்ணினா ஆன்சர்ல எந்த எலிமெண்ட் நீ எடுக்கறியோ அதே எலிமெண்ட் வந்துச்சுன்னா அது கூட எதை நீ ஆபரேட் பண்றியோ அதை வந்து நாம என்னன்னு சொல்லலாம், ஐடென்டிட்டி எலிமெண்ட்னு சொல்லலாம். இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் மல்டிப்ளிகேஷன்ல பாருங்க, இப்போ 6ன்ற எலிமெண்ட் கூட நாம எதை மல்டிப்ளை பண்ணோம்னா நமக்கு 6ன்னு ஆன்சர் வரும். அப்ப எந்த நம்பர் மல்டிப்ளை பண்ணா உங்களுக்கு 6ன்ற ஆன்சர் வரும்? when you are multiplying 1 with 6 you can get the answer as 6. so your identity element is 1. okay, if you are having the addition, the identity element is 0. if you are dealing with the multiplication, the identity element is 1. in general, if they are giving any operation, you can make use of this result to find the identity element. Next step, existence of inverse property. Whenever there is the existence of identity element, definitely there will be a inverse element. Okay, so that is the concept. If an identity element E exists and if for every A belongs to S, there exists an element A inverse belongs to S. You have to read this as A inverse such that A inverse star A equal to A star A inverse equal to E. That is the identity element. Okay. For example, in addition, you are having the number 4. We are going to add another number so that you should get the answer as 0 because in addition 0 is the identity element. Then what is the inverse of 4? You all know that when you are adding minus 4 with 4, you will get the answer 0. So in this you have to add minus 4. So the inverse of 4 is minus 4. The inverse of 4 is minus 4. Or I can say that minus 4 is the inverse of 4. Okay. If you take this example for multiplication 2. What is the inverse of 2? Then you should get the answer as the multiplicative identity 1. What is the number here you have to multiply? When you are multiplying by 1 by 2, you will get the answer as 1. Okay? The main concept is if you are multiplying or you are operating an element with the inverse, you should get the answer as an identity element. So that only in addition the identity element is 0, in multiplication the identity element is 1. In general, if they are defining any operation, you have to make use of this result to find the, what is that, inverse element. Okay. Next, A inverse is an element of S. Okay, you have to make a note of this. The element also should belongs to the set and the inverse also belongs to the set. The identity element also belongs to the set. Okay. So then A inverse is not in the meaning of 1 by A. You should not take that A inverse is equal to 1 by A. You should read this as inverse of A. That's alone. You should not take it as 1 by A. That is very, very important. Next property is commutative property. Commutative property is nothing but A star B equal to B star A. For every A comma B belongs to X. Addition is always commutative because 1 plus 2 equal to 2 plus 1 equal to 3. So whatever will be the place the number changes, the answer will not change. That property is known as, what is that, commutative property. Similarly, multiplication is also commutative. What is the multiplication? If you are multiplying 2 into 3 and 3 into 2, what is the answer? It is going to be 6. So you have to remain familiar with this concept. First one is closure property or closure axiom. Second one, associative property. Here you have to take 3 elements. Okay. Next, existence of identity property. Identity element is unique element. You are going to find only one element, identity element. And also inverse. Inverse is also unique. For an element, there will be only one inverse. Okay. Then commutative property. These are all the properties you have to know in this chapter. With this, now we are going to solve the problems one by one based upon the properties what we are having.